Hello and welcome to another episode of FreeCodeSession. My name is Jason Bach, and we're going to keep moving on this whatever problem we're calling it, where this has to be divided by 2, this is divisible, then this is divisible by 3, and this is divisible by 4. Okay, literally the worst is probably the worst way to do it. This one eventually did come back. I don't know how long it took, it was at least 3 minutes to come back, but it does come back with an answer. Okay, so I've actually taken off benchmark attributes on these because there's just no way to reasonably have these come back in any amount of time. So we're going to say, what are we calling these? Get answers. Oops, so we got to do an int array. Get answers first real attempt. Okay. And we're going to benchmark that. All right, so I think the first thing I want to do is I do want to copy that. Okay. And then we're going to say return answers.to array. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to say if I mod 2 does not equal 0. Okay, because if you have a 9-digit number, then there's no reason to go any farther, right? So now I want to get because if you get to the 9, that means it has to be odd to be divisible by 9. So if the whole thing is at least 9 digits divisible by 2, you can already stop. It's not going to be the answer. Okay, I think that's right. Now the next thing I need to do is get all 9 numbers out of this. So we're going to say number 1 is equal to I mod not mod divided by 1,000,000. Okay, so, and I think that chops it hard. I'm not sure about that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're going to get all 9 numbers. Except not quite. So let's say that we had 100 million. We won something. So I need to be able to take from the top number down, right? Let's think about this a little bit more. If this is the first number, this is not the second number. And the way I've done these spacers are kind of weird, actually. I trimmed that off the wrong spot. Should look kind of something like that. So let's get rid of these first. So that's not good enough because that's going to give you the actual top 2. Right, because if I did, like let's say I had 2, 3, 1, 7, 8, 9, and this I divided by, I get 23, which is actually, that's interesting because that gives me the actual, the 2 numbers that I need. But then what I need is the lower number, right? And what's the most efficient way to do that? Because this will actually get me the yeah. What I want to say here is like number 1 times that minus? No. I want to whack that off the number. So I'm going to say I minus whatever this is plus that. Why did it kind of... Oh, there's not enough there. Okay. So that's putting it back up, but with all the... that's just whacking off the top number. Which feels kind of weird. I wish there was a way to just say get that number. Maybe there is a better way to do this. So now I can say if number 1 is not equal number 2, and number 1 times 10 plus number 2 this is where parentheses hell kick it in. Two is equal to 0. Now we can continue on. Now I could actually keep going in. But I need to remember the digits that I already put in there. So, text. Oh. Oh, just send me a picture of our cat in our closet. Must be warm. I'm like, where's that coming from? Now number 3 is equal to making it hard to think. So now I need to get that third number. And the way to get that efficiently, so I'm doing everything as an int here. And I just thought of something too, which is this can actually start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because you can't do any of the other ones below it. And then you could say, well, I know that's not going to actually work, but I'm just saying as a lower bound. Even making the, instead of starting at 0, instead of starting at 100 million, that's the number you can actually literally start. That's even narrowing down the search. watching a video where somebody's thinking. It's gotta be the boringest thing in the world. Okay, so that would give you, let's say 2. Because if you were at like, so you take the original number and basically you whack off everything except the other parts underneath it. And then this is right. And number 3, I don't want to keep, all right, do the notepads, because I need to think of it. If I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, okay. If that's the number I have and that's the one I want to grab, you could think about doing this in reverse. But I think you'd still have the same problem, right? In other words, 1, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So the first number is just what's ever in the ones column. Now, how do you figure that out from the number that's actually there? It's the remainder, right? Is there a math that remainder? Oh, that's cute. Calculates the quotient of 2 and also returns the remainder in an output. Well, that's kind of what I want. I can just ignore the result. Because number 2 is basically saying well, no. Because you want to, God, why is math so hard? If I want to get this number, I basically want to lop off 23 million. Well, 230 million, sorry. And then, but I don't want to keep calculating this over and over again, but then how do I memorize? Function memorization. How do I actually say that was the original number and not keep calculating it over and over again? But I can't see how else to do it. That would make num 1 equal to 2. This should find that num 2 is equal to 3. Okay, so you see those are different. Multiply the 20 and add 3 to it. Does it divide by 2? No. So you need to move on. Now I need to get the fourth number. I'm sorry, number 4. So when 3 is I minus 200 minus 30 and then it's the plus, right? Yeah, plus I divided by, now in this case it's 1 billion. And then you see if n is equal to that and that and that. Okay, so number 3 is I minus number 1 times 100 minus number 2 minus, no, times, God. And then plus I divided by 1. God damn it. Okay, so now if I say if number yeah, let's do 2. 2 is not 1. Because what I want to say is number 3 is not equal to number 2, and number 3 is not equal to number 1, and number 1 times 100 plus number 2 times 10 plus number 3, all of that. Come on, why is it doing that? Just, the heck? Oh, I got all that space there. Huh. And all that 3 is equal to 0, and move on, right? What are you barking at here? Yeah, number 3 does not equal number 1, and let me get rid of all these parentheses. It's like driving me nuts. Yeah, there should be too many there. Okay, now if I say, oh, it's got to be equals here. And I do want the parentheses here because I want to be explicit and say, no, it's got to be all that. Okay, what am I still doing wrong here? Number 3 is in 1, and, oh, jeez, I can't type. Okay. Well, we're going to keep doing this, so let's actually call that diff 1. And I should have said, do that everywhere you see this. Diff 2. Now it's interesting because I don't, for number 1 I needed it, for number 2 I don't necessarily need it unless I need number 3. You just don't see that here because there's no comparison. Okay. So now we add nauseum and we drive the compiler nuts. So this is diff 3, which is number 3 done as 1,000,000. And now number 4 is diff now this becomes 100,000. Right? Number 4 doesn't equal number 3. Number 4 doesn't equal number 2. And number 4 does not equal number 2. And number 1 times 1,000 plus number 2 times 100 plus number 3 times 10 plus number 4 on 4. Okay. That's the diff, but the diff keeps going, right? No, it's well, it could be. We could say the diff is just that. And now the diff 2 here is, so now we say diff is equal to diff minus that. And now I can say, I gotta go look at my brownies. So, yeah, so hold on, that does that. Now I can say again, diff equals diff minus that. And now I can just do diff. So it's a little bit easier to read. All right, I will be back. I gotta go check my brownies. All right, I don't need these. Why have I been wearing these? I don't know. Did not need them. Okay. Ugh. I have to repeat this pattern. Oy. But so now I say number 4 as 100,000. Now it's just 10,000 to get number 5. And now number 5 doesn't equal 3, and number 5 doesn't equal 2, and number 5. Whoops. And number 1 is now 10,000, number 2 is 1,000. Okay, I should be following $100 times 10, number 5, 5. God almighty. 6. Number 6 is not equal number 5, and number 6, 6, 6, 6, that, 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 that. Could you just increase that by 10 all the time? Like say, and var cum is equal to that. So now you have that, right? I say cum is equal to times equals 10. So now you just shifted it over. Because that's all you're doing with this, you keep shifting it over. And now I can say here, accum plus number. Yeah, that makes it a little bit more general. Do that. Accum number 4. Have to keep doing it because it's just shifting. Yeah, that's wasted calculations. All right, so, but I gotta remember, do that. Accum plus number 6 mod 6. This is a little bit easier to manage. And again, I know there's a pattern here. And I mean, I know there's a pattern. And I'm going to go over my time a little bit, but that's okay. I have to remember I put in like 4 minutes running around. So now it's 6. That gets accumulated. Number 7 is that. What in the Sam? This is now 100. And number 7 not equal number 6. Is it going to be smart enough? Ooh, it is. Okay, now let's say all these I wish it was smart enough to go, oh, that's, see, it didn't. That's, god dang it. You're in a selection. Okay. There. 6544. Okay, now this is going to be 7 mod 7. 2 more times. This should be number 7, 100. Why? It's confused. Number 8 not equal number 7, and now all the number 7s have to be 8. We can actually say 7 replace with 8. Accumulation 8 to 8, and one last time. Number 9 is just I. You divide by 1 is just going to be number 9. It's not equal number 9, and oh, that'd be stupid. Because first, yeah, that's cute. I like that. Number 8, and now number 9 for so 8 becomes 9. Answers.add I. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. Let's see if this actually works, because I am not convinced it is. Yeah, that's completely wrong. Yeah, it's definitely not finding the right numbers. Let's quickly do this. Let's find out what happens when it actually gets to a number. Number one, yeah, all these are bad. Number one is 1. Because I is that. So then diff. Oh. Yeah, diff went completely bonkers. Wait, I was supposed to add on diff, wasn't I? Yeah, not subtract on diff, add on diff, you dork. All the diff equals diff minus. Oh, come on. It's still, even though it might be completely wrong, that's still taking forever. Yeah, it's still wrong. Well, and I'm also not... Makes diff got right. But still completely screwed up. Let's capture that. And I'm going to stop. We're going to continue on with this in the next episode. So, even though this is boring as heck, I want to figure this out. I did something, I done goofed something, and I got to figure out what it is. So, that's all the time I got for right now. So, thank you for watching. Leave your comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.